What's happening, everyone? My name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out a brand new cargo e-bike. So the name of this one sounds a bit funny, I'm gonna say. So this is called Fucare, I guess, or maybe I'm saying that wrong. Regardless, the model name is the Gemini X. So this is a bike that has two battery packs. We have one right here and one right here. Now, depending where you're buying this bike, because if you do get this bike in the EU, you get a smaller capacity batteries on the bike, but if you buy this in North America, you do get larger capacity batteries. So keep that in mind. The range will depend if you're buying the EU version or the North American version of this bike. With that being said, let's start by doing a bit of an unboxing just so I can show you how the bike comes packed in the box and what you have to do to get this ready and on the road. Alright, so the bike comes in a fairly big box and you do have to do a bit of an installation when you take this out. So first of all, you have to install the rear mud guard, you have to install the pedals, you have to install the front wheel, you have to install the front mud guard, the front light, the handlebar. So it is a bit time consuming and it's going to take you about an hour to get this ready. The bike is also quite heavy. So you're looking at about 40 kilos. So it's definitely not easy carrying this bike around. So keep that in mind if you have to take this up the stairs. It is a fairly heavy bike. The bike itself does look pretty cool, mostly because of this very unusual frame that we have here. And I love the fact how they actually integrated one of the battery packs right here in the frame and the other one it's kind of sitting behind the seat post. So I do feel that the battery packs that we have on this bike do look pretty cool as they are installed. Now, the manufacturer says that you can get about 135 kilometers on one charge. And of course, that may be possible depending on the conditions where you're riding. If it's hot out, if you're not that heavy, if you're using assistance level 1. However, realistically, if you're using the throttle, so we do have a throttle here. If you don't want to pedal at all, you can just use that throttle. Realistically, you're going to get about 60 to 70 kilometers, maybe a bit less if you're heavier, if you're just using that throttle. So I feel that this will get plenty of range for pretty much any situation. The bike is also powered by a 750 watt motor that's located in the rear wheel. So with the 7-gear Shimano shifter system that we have on this bike and that powerful motor, you can basically ride pretty much anywhere. So it doesn't matter if you're riding on a flat road, it doesn't matter if you're riding uphill, you do have plenty of power to reach the top speed of the bike in pretty much any situation. And next I want to play a short recording so I can show you how the bike does going uphill. Alright, so next we have a quick hill climbing test with the Gemini X. So I'm in the first gear here and assistance level 5. I'm gonna start by accelerating with the throttle and then I'll pedal so I can help the bike a bit. However, we do have plenty of power so the bike will do great. I'm not sure if you can see how steep this hill is, but it does get quite steep just up ahead there. So we'll start by accelerating with the throttle and now I'll pedal. We'll go in the second gear. So the bike is pushing me really well. We are doing about 26 kilometers an hour and the hill gets quite steep right here. So the bike is still doing pretty good. I don't actually have to put any effort in and the hill is steep here. One of the steepest hills that we actually have here. Now I do have to help the bike a bit around here, but definitely not that much effort. So if I push a bit more on these pedals, we can get the bike to about 20 kilometers an hour, I think. And let's see if it can go by the throttle alone. So I'm not actually pedaling, it's going with the throttle alone. So plenty of power for this bike. The 20-inch wheels have 4-inch wide tires, so this is basically what we call a fat tire e-bike, but I also love the fact that the tires are a bit different than most other cargo e-bikes that I got to try in the past. So I feel that these are more road oriented, so it does handle a bit better than most other cargo e-bikes that I got to try in the past. The bike is also equipped with a front suspension. Now, this doesn't have that much travel, maybe about 2 inches of travel, but good enough, I'm gonna say. And when you take that together with the fat tires and the fact that the seat that we have has a lot of padding, so the seat on this one is quite comfortable, you do get a very comfortable ride even if you're riding over uneven terrain. The handlebar here you can also kind of adjust so it fits your riding style better. So you can install this more closer to you or further away from you. So it really depends what kind of a position you want. I have it set so I ride as straight as possible. So I do like the fact that this can kind of be adjusted in a way. On the front and of course on the back we have lights. So we have the headlight right here. This is quite bright, so you can still see it during the day, and at night it's bright enough. As for the rear light, this also acts as a brake light. You've probably noticed by now that on the back here we also have a rack, so if you want to carry something you can definitely put it on that rear rack. The bike also has plastic mud guards on the front and on the back. Now here it rarely rains, so I haven't actually tried the bike while it was raining, so I can't really say how well it would protect you from splashing, but it does look like it would protect you fairly good. Now, the bike has a speed sensor. In a way, that's a good thing. Some people may prefer a speed sensor over a torque sensor. It really depends on how you like riding. If you don't want to put that much effort into riding, you're gonna love something like this, a bike that has a speed sensor. It really depends on you. All right, so looking at the handlebar, of course, the handlebar is quite wide. We have our grips right here. The grips don't seem to move at all. We have our brake levers. So we haven't talked about the brakes. The brakes on this bike are hydraulic disc brakes from a good brand as well. And the stopping power from them is exceptionally good for this kind of bike. I'm also happy to say that they don't make any noise whenever you're braking, whenever you're riding normally. So I'm very happy with the brakes that we get on this bike. Going back to our handlebar here on the left hand side, we basically have a little bell. Doesn't sound the best out there, but it works all right. We have our buttons here, and on the right hand side we basically have the accelerator, and in the center we have the screen. Now, depending on how sunny it is and how the sun hits the screen, you may see it or you may not see it that well. However, the screen has plenty of information for an e-bike, so we get the battery, we get our current speed, we get the assistance level, and so on. Overall, I think it's fine for a screen for an e-bike. All right, so let me quickly show you how easy it is to ride this bike. So first of all, we're gonna power it on. We have the power button right here. It takes about 3 seconds or so for the bike to come on. And from here we'll change assistance level, so the plus or the minus. For this test, we're just gonna go in assistance level 3. So you can use this bike in a couple of ways. You can accelerate to the throttle, so we have the throttle right here, or you can pedal, and as soon as you start pedaling, the bike will start assisting you. So first I'm just gonna accelerate to the throttle so you can see how that works. So the throttle is right here. So nice and easy. And of course the speed here will depend on the level that you're on. So the top speed for this level is about 16 kilometers an hour. You can also start pedaling, and the bike will start assisting you when you start pedaling. So this bike has a speed sensor, so it takes a couple of pedals for it to sense that you're pedaling, and then will start assisting you, and of course it will take you to that speed. If I increase the assistance level, the speed will also increase. So we'll do a brake test somewhere around here. So from about 23 kilometers an hour. So we'll brake somewhere around here. So if you want, you can definitely lock that front and rear wheel. We'll keep going this way. And we'll go in assistance level 5. So this will take us to the top speed of the bike. So we'll do another brake test from about 27 kilometers an hour. So very good braking, and again, as soon as you stop, you can just accelerate to that throttle, and it's that easy. One thing I forgot to mention is the fact that in the box you're gonna find 2 chargers for the 2 batteries that we have. So these are 10.4 amp hour batteries. The US version has 15 amp hour batteries, if I remember correctly, but this one is the EU version, so we have 10.4 amp hour batteries. And yes, there are 2 chargers that come in the box. The batteries are also removable, so you don't necessarily have to charge both. You can just charge one. It is entirely up to you. But basically, if you want the extended range, you're gonna charge both batteries. Overall, the bike rides really well. It is fairly comfortable. It is quite quiet whenever you're riding, so the motor doesn't make that much noise. The brakes don't really make noise since you have the fat tires to the front suspension. The ride is comfortable. So if you're looking for a cargo e-bike, well, a cargo e-bike that doesn't fold, because a lot of these do fold, but this one does look super cool and it does work quite well, and it's not that expensive either. So if you're looking for a cargo e-bike, this is definitely one that you should consider. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.